Welcome to Dispatch, the weekly show designed to keep you on track as you build and operate your layout. I'm Roy Smith, your dispatcher. Thank you for joining me tonight. Coming up on tonight's show, 2 big shout-outs, your layout photos, the question of the week, and your comments. Let's get started with the first of the big shout-outs on tonight's show. The first shout-out tonight goes to Steve at SoCal BNSF N-Scale Layout. Steve models Southern California, including the San Bernardino and Cajon Pass areas. He has been working on a second version of his layout since September last year and has been making astounding progress. Let's take a look at some of the work he's recently done and trains running on his layout.
I finally finished my Helix construction. Lasted about a month or so. About a month, maybe a little bit longer. And now we've got the Helix, as you can see, the 5 levels. It's pretty much done. And there's my upper level that comes down from Cajon, Blue Cut, and then hits Keenbrook right before it starts making its way down the Helix. The blue tape is just where I'm starting to mask off. I've got I use the plumber's putty or spackling compound, or whatever it is, to fill in between my tracks, so later on I don't have as much ballast that I have wasted. Alright, he's passing an intermodal parked on Main 1. Because Main 1 ends right about just south of Blue Cut right now, and I need to get more track down. Sorry, trying to walk, film, and talk at the same time. Train's just passing Cajon and entering Sullivan's Curve. And he's on speed step 6, so if this was running real trains, I'd probably slow this guy down just a little bit, maybe speed step 4 or 5. But again, this is just for a video to show everything's working. And I did a test run on this prior to filming this, and it took about, I think, 9.5 minutes to come up the Helix, around the upper level, and then back down the upper level to the beginning of the Helix. So it's going to be a pretty good sized layout when all said and done. When the lower level's finished, probably looking at about a 30-minute run around the layout.
I'd like you to go over to Steve's channel and take a look around when dispatch ends. I'll put a link down below that will take you to his channel. When you're over there, be sure to subscribe so that you can follow the progress he's making on his layout, and be sure to tell him that Roy Smith sent you. Now, stay tuned because I'll be doing a second shout-out later in the program. Coming up next, your layout photos. Once again, many of you posted photos of your layouts in the N-Scale Union Pacific Evanston Subdivision Facebook group this week, and from there I have been able to bring them over to Dispatch. Let me share the photos with you now. When dispatch ends, I want you to go on over to the Facebook group. You can take a second look at the photos while you're there, and you can post a photo of your layout. Then I can share your photo here in next week's edition of Dispatch. When you see this photo on Facebook, you'll know that you're at the right place. This photo was taken at Echo Canyon on my layout. While you're over there on Facebook, why don't you go ahead and join the group? And again, be sure to post a photo of your layout there, because we model railroaders love to look at layouts and photos of layouts. I will put a link to the Facebook group down below. Now, the question of the week. In last week's episode of Dispatch, I posed the following question for this week. What scale do you model? HO, N, some other scale? And why did you choose to model in that particular scale? Well, I have to tell you that I'm flabbergasted by the results. Here they are. Take a look at the results for N and HO scales. This is shocking because most surveys say that 80% of model railroaders prefer to model in HO scale. Here are some of the reasons for choosing the scales that you model. For G scale, you said that it's a great way to combine two hobbies, model railroading and gardening. For O scale, you said that it's hard to see the details in smaller scales. You HO scalers also said that it's hard to see the details in anything smaller than HO scale. You said that HO scale products are readily available and HO scale is better for switching operations. You N scalers said that you like N scale because it's better for running long trains. You can have a higher ratio of scenery to track. It's better for limited spaces, and it has improved dramatically in quality and availability over the past 15 years. Several of you said that you model in more than one scale. Many started in O gauge as kids, gravitated to HO as young adults, and later turned to N scale as the availability and quality of N scale improved. And now the question for the coming week. What is your one favorite thing to do on your layout? Is it running trains, building scenery, conducting operations, building structures? Let me know in the comments section down below. I will compile your answers and summarize the results in next week's episode of Dispatch. Again, the question for the coming week is, what is your one favorite thing to do on your layout? And now your comments. As you know, I post a layout update to my channel every Saturday morning. I am currently producing a series of videos about the big track plan changes I am making on my layout. Last Saturday's video was called Building a Lift-Up Bridge. In it, I showed you the progress I am making on a lift-out bridge that I am building at the entrance to my train room. I showed you the benchwork that supports the bridge, how it works, and how I am using pink foam as a sub-roadbed for the bridge. Whew. I'm getting too old to be using a duck under. That's why I've been building a lift up here on my N-scale layout so that I won't have to duck under. I'm going to show it to you right now. Hi, I'm Roy Smith. If you've been watching my series about big track plan changes, then you know that I've been building a lift-up bridge right here. In response to the video, I received a ton of comments. Let me share some of them with you. Michael Dunn wrote, "Hello Roy, can you go into more detail concerning the 15-degree crossover? It appears to me that you simply put it in. No fancy wiring. Is it that simple?" Michael is referring to that crossing on the lift-up bridge that many of you have asked about. Yes, Michael, it is that simple. I hope to reinstall the track on the lift-up in time for Saturday's layout update. At that time, we will see if everything works or if I have a catastrophic short that shuts down the whole layout. Dave Riffle asked, for westbounds through Green River into Evanston heading for Portland, what is the path they will take? Dave, as I said, I should have the track reinstalled and trains running across the lift-up by Saturday. That would be a good time to talk about routes that trains can take on my layout, including their origins and destinations. Jerry Smith said, "Roy, perhaps you could show us with highlighted colors the routes you have planned." Jerry, I have often felt confused when visiting clubs because I couldn't decipher the club's track plans. Yes, absolutely, I can show you the planned routes, and highlighted colors would be a great way to do that. And Zane's Trains and Things wrote, "So far, I'm liking the changes and can't wait to see the first train over the bridge." Me too, Zane. If all goes well, the first train should cross the lift out in this Saturday's layout update. Again, I want to thank all of you for your comments because they have helped me to build a better layout. They have helped me avoid mistakes that I could have made while building my layout. They have helped me to think about different ways of doing things. That's why interaction among us model railroaders is so important. We help each other by sharing our knowledge and experience with each other. All right, it's time for our second big shout out. Our second shout out goes to Adam Palmer at Model Railroad Operations. Adam visits layouts and films operations on those layouts. He narrates his videos in a way that is very enjoyable and easy to understand. Without such narration, operation videos wouldn't make much sense. Adam's videography and narration are absolutely top-notch. To see what I mean, let's take a look at a clip from one of his recent videos.
Our run begins at Mack Street Yard, where we pick up our power, an Alco RS3, number 7849. 749 is currently the pride of the SCN fleet. It was rebuilt and then repainted into a more traditional paint scheme reminiscent of WP. The East Rica Local is also one of the few trains on the Santa Cruz Northern that has assigned power and caboose. The Yardmaster has already assembled our consist, so all we have to do is receive our clearance card and our running orders before we can depart. Once we arrive at East Rica, we'll perform our local switching. The intercity switch can include Second Road Sand and Gravel, the Santa Cruz Northern Team Track, East Rica Feeds, Modoc Petroleum, Sewell and Brown Apricot Processors, and the Orchard Supply Hardware Warehouse. Our waybills that we brought along with the cars from Mack Street tell us what cars we will be spotting and where.
I urge you to go over to Model Railroad Operations and check it out. You can watch the rest of this video when you get there. And be sure to subscribe while you're there. I'll put a link to Adam's channel down below. Be sure to tell him that Roy Smith sent you when you're over there. Well, that just about concludes tonight's show. If you enjoyed it, I hope you will give it a thumbs up. And if you're that guy who always clicks on thumbs down, you need to know that YouTube police are looking for you to find out why you do that. As always, remember I upload 2 videos each week. Dispatch on Tuesday nights, which you are watching right now, and a layout update on Saturday mornings. I hope you will join me for both of these videos each week. Of course, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe and hit that little bell icon so that you don't miss any of the upcoming episodes. Thanks again for joining me tonight on Dispatch. Until next time, happy railroading. I'm Roy Smith, and I will see you again very soon.